the production of upcoming Spider-Man films has been abandoned by Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige. Deadline broke the news first, and Sony Pictures later confirmed it. According to Deadline's reporting, the separation resulted from disagreements over income sharing from movies starring the web-slinging hero between Sony, which still controls the character's rights, and Marvel's parent firm Disney. The information suggests that Spider appearances mans in Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, as well as crossovers with actors like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury or Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man in upcoming Spider-Man movies, may come to an end with Spider-Man: Far From Home, which came out earlier this summer. The problem is money, say sources consulted by Deadline, instead of the existing arrangement, which is supposed to offer Marvel and Disney 5% of the total box office earnings. Disney has requested that future Spider-Man movies be 50/50 co-productions between Disney and Sony. Without mentioning Deadline's article specifically, Sony Pictures claims that news reports about Kevin Feige's participation in the property have been mischaracterized. Sony restricts the effect to the next live-action Spider-Man film and hopes that Feige will eventually take over as lead producer again. At the box office, Spider-Man: Far From Home brought in more than $1 billion, netting Disney more than $50 million. However, it falls well short of the sum that Sony has received from the single Spider-Man film that Kevin Feige produced. Recently, Far From Home surpassed all other Sony films in terms of revenue. Disney seems to believe that its management of the series and its connections to the MCU movies, such as Avengers: Endgame, which eventually featured a Far From Home trailer as a post-credits sequence for its theatrical release, are to blame for those numbers, and it wants a larger share of the action. Sony reportedly objected, and it now appears that the two studios will once more part ways. Sony reportedly believes that even without Kevin Feige's involvement, the creative team of director Jon Watts, who also directed Spider-Man: Homecoming and its sequel, Far From Home, actor Tom Holland, and producer Amy Pascal will be sufficient to maintain the Spider-Man franchise's momentum for upcoming movies. Spider-Man may now feature in crossover Marvel movies thanks to a 2015 agreement between Marvel Studios and Sony, even though Sony still had the character's rights and was in charge of financing, distribution, and ultimate creative control. Soon after, Holland was hired to play the part. He later played the part in 3 Disney movies: Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame. Featured in the 2 solo movies made by Sony and produced by Marvel Studios. According to the initial reports of Holland's contract, he still has 1 solo feature left to do, but according to a report from Deadline, Holland is set to star in at least another 2 films that are being directed by Jon Watts.